Hello guys, welcome again to Planet 40k Space Marines, and we've got yet another article release from the Warhammer community website. Now we've done a few videos already in the past day or so already, but we're now going to talk about the datasheet that they released for Guilliman. We're going to compare it to his previous edition datasheet and also talk about what we can expect for 10th edition. So guys, before we get into today's video, please make sure you are subscribing to this channel. We're going to be putting forward as much Space Marine news content as we possibly can. And when 10th edition does eventually drop, we're going to be going very hard and heavy with the tactical element of Space Marines, all the detachments, all the synergy, and then when the codex comes out, we're going to be going through that with a fine-tooth comb. So, make sure you are subscribed. Right, so Guilliman and his datasheet, let's get into it. Let's start with the actual statistics for the datasheet. So the movement is 8 inch, that has not changed at all. Toughness was previously 6, it's now gone to toughness 9, which is very good. Although, as we said in the previous video with the Land Raider, monsters and vehicles have gone up in toughness to give them a bit more survivability against small arms fire, and this is a monster unit, so you would expect the toughness to go up. Toughness 9 isn't going to be the best toughness. In 9th edition, toughness 9 was the best toughness you can get, but yeah, this is going to be kind of a standard toughness for a monster or vehicle model. He keeps his 2+ armor save, he's gained an additional wounds because he's now got 10 wounds. His leadership is a 5+, although that isn't, I don't think that's that important to be honest with you with a single model. And the objective control is a 4, so he counts as 4 models when controlling an objective. You would expect a 4 or 5 from monsters and vehicle models. So that's his new statistics for 10th edition. Let's get into his weaponry. So he's of course got his Hand of Dominion, which is a range attack as well as a melee attack. The range attack previously was 24 inches, rapid fire 3. It is now 30 inches, so you've got a better range, but it's rapid fire 2, so we are losing shots there. He's still hitting on the 2+ as standard. Strength 6 as it was. It's -2 AP though, so it has actually gone up in AP, although the whole game has had an AP reset. He's in fact gone up in AP, which is kind of cool. And 2 damage is what it was. Jumping straight down into the melee side of this same weapon, he's gained an additional attack because he previously had 6 attacks, he's now got 7 attacks. Although Shock Assault is probably not a thing anymore, so that's why he's gained an additional attack, because he previously had Shock Assault. He's hitting on the 2+ again. Strength is 14 in 10th edition. Previously it was only 12, so he's gained a bit of strength there. Again, that kind of goes alongside the toughness going up with vehicles and monsters. It's -4 AP and 4 damage. Previously it was -3 AP, so again the AP for this guy has gone up, which again is pretty cool. So it's also got the lethal hits ability attached to the Hand of the Dominion in melee, which is 6s to hit are going to automatically wound, so you don't even need to roll to wound, although he is strength 14 anyway. But against the bigger things, that could be quite good. So as for his other melee weapon, he's got the Emperor's Sword. Now this has got a whopping 14 attacks. Now previously you were just using his attacks characteristic of 6. And also it's got the Devastating Wounds keyword attached to it. So if you're rolling a 6 to wound, you're inflicting mortal wounds as well. That's pretty good. I mean, in the previous incarnation in 9th edition, you were doing D3. So if anything, it's a bit of a nerf. But you've now got 14 attacks though instead of 6, so it's definitely not enough in my opinion. You're hitting on the 2+, the strength is still strength 8. -3 AP, it's actually lost a little bit of AP there. It previously was -4 AP. And the damage is only damage 2, it's gone down slightly as well. But again, Devastating Wounds ability attached to this I think is going to make up for all those nerfs. So I think that's a pretty decent weapon overall. Next into the datasheet, you've got the author of the codex. So this is 3 abilities, and in fact before we read that, let's go to the abilities on the right hand side, because it's going to explain how these abilities work. So author of the codex, in your command phase select one of the author of the codex abilities, see left, and to the start of your next command phase this model has that ability. So from these 3 abilities you're going to be selecting one of them every single battle round effectively in your command phase. So it's not the battle round, it's your command phase, depending on if you go first or second I suppose. So what are the 3 abilities that you can select from? Number 1, Primarch of the 13th, which is an aura. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit is within 6 inches of this model, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of the models in that unit, and they can re-roll Battle Shock, a leadership test taken for that unit. We'll have to see how that one plays out. We haven't had that much practice with Battle Shock and how it's going to work out and how it's going to operate. Once we get into the swing of the game, we will know if this ability is any good or not. Master of Battle, after you've selected an enemy unit using the Oath of Moment ability, select a second enemy unit until the start of the next command phase. If the first unit selected has been destroyed, each time a friendly unit makes an attack that targets the second enemy unit, you can reroll the hit rolls and the wound rolls. So if you remember the Oath of Moment ability, you're selecting the target in your command phase, and army-wide you're rerolling hit rolls and win rolls against that unit. This allows you to do a second one, and if the first one gets destroyed, you can start piling into the second one if you like. Piling in is probably the wrong word to give you because that means something else completely in 40k, but what I mean by that is throwing all your attacks into that second unit to get all those rerolls. The third one is Supreme Strategist. Once per turn you can target one friendly unit within 12 inches of this model with a stratagem for no command points. And you can do so even if another unit from your army has already been targeted with that same stratagem, this phase. That one's pretty good, you know, because you can use the same stratagem and it's going to be free. Even if it's something as simple as a command reroll, if that is a thing still, you can use command reroll for a second time in that phase and it's not going to cost you any command points. That one's a pretty good one. Now of course you're not going to be able to kind of guess when you need that, it just comes when and when. But it's definitely something good to have up your sleeve. So yeah, you're going to select one of those abilities every single command phase. I think that's a pretty good ability overall. The second one is Ultramarines Bodyguard. So whilst this model is within 3 inches of one or more friendly infantry units, this model has the Lone Operative ability, which means he's not going to be able to be targeted unless the attacker is within 12 inches of Guilliman himself. So it's kind of like a mini version of a Lookout Sir, but kind of works completely different for 10th edition. Then on to his third ability, which is Armour of Fate. The first time this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 at the end of the phase. On a 3+, set this model back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where he was destroyed, and not within engagement range of enemy models, with 6 wounds remaining. Now that's amazing, because it used to be a 4+ roll, and it used to be d6 wounds remaining, not 6 wounds remaining. So that is already a massive buff. Now I like this ability because you're doing it at the end of the phase, so your opponent can't do any more attacks to your model. If you were to get him up as soon as he died, then your opponent could just carry on putting attacks into him. And especially if it's the end of the fight phase, that means your opponent is pretty much done with their attacks, and then you get him up in your turn, ready to go again. So a really good ability there. Now of course he's lost the previous incarnation of Author of the Codex, which was getting 3 command points for a battle forward list. He's not going to have that anymore of course. He's also lost Master of Battle, which was a +1 to the advance and charge rolls for friendlies, rerolling hit rolls of a 1, da-di-da-di-da, all that kind of stuff he used to have in 9th edition. That's pretty much gone, but I kind of prefer what he's been given. There is one slight thing that he has lost that's quite important though. He's lost his 3+ invulnerable save. He's now got a 4+ invulnerable save, but I'm okay with that. I don't think anything in the game should have a 3+. I think it's just way too powerful. So yeah, I'm okay with that overall. Now I can't see anything to do with Warlord traits on this datasheet, where previously he had the nobility made manifest to allow infantry and biker units to heroically intervene as if they were characters, and I don't see that anywhere on the datasheet at all. Maybe that's going to be on the actual detachments with all the warlord traits there, and maybe that'll be selectable for him. But on this current datasheet that they've showcased on Warhammer Community, it is not there. So overall, quite a strong datasheet I think. A few nerfs, a few buffs. Overall, I quite like him. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe on your exits. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.